We're back. Hey, everybody. It's your host, Darren Carter, the party starter. I'm Darren. The ladies know me as Darren. And I have John DiResta.
Thank you.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. Darren.
Next to me. Did you ever do any of those kind of patter type of thing? Like, Darren, let me like a leprechaun.
Not really. I leave that to you.
Sweeter than a bomb, I'll bang you like a tom-tom. Then I'm out. I'm gone, Darren.
Whoa.
I'm the one you've been looking for. I am, my is, I was, I were, I have, has, had, do, does, did, will, shall, should, would, my must, can, could, 'cause baby, I am Darren.
Whoa. I do have a poem, a rap song that's in the notebooks.
Oh.
I think I could muster up one or two lines.
Do you want me to beat over it or no?
Yeah, why not? Let me see. My name is John DiResta. I like Twisted Sister. And when you call my name, you better start with Mister. I'm from Long Island. I like Ronnie. We pray at the feet of Ronnie James Dio. I don't know that anymore, but it's got Butterfuco rhymes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But it starts with, my name is John DiResta. I love Twisted Sister. When you use my name, you better start with Mister. That's funny.
Yeah. I got you, man. I think you did it like around 10 episodes ago.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm repeating
good.
everything.
So were you an NYPD cop? Were you there the night Tupac? This guy. But anyways, you guys, thank you for coming back. I know a lot of people like to watch these episodes with John DiResta and the other episodes as well, but especially John.
Thank you.
When you got a lot of your woodworking buddies come in and the carpentry.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's good. I know that the numbers go up a tiny bit, and I know that I have one or two people that are loyal fans.
That's cool,
so
man.
It's and in strange places, someone will just grab your arm and say, don't worry, be hacky. Sure, it's rare,
right?
But when it happens, it's like, oh, people do listen to stuff.
It's wild because you grew up on the East Coast. I grew up on the West Coast, Fresno, California. So it's interesting to see totally different lifestyles that were different, but yet here we are together. In this journey of like stand-up comedy and entertainment.
Yeah. They for some reason I was just thinking of this is what happened. I was at I went to go see Buffalo 66. Do you remember that movie?
Never even heard of it.
Okay, it was like 1999, Buffalo 66, and I was with Seth Schultz, whose father invented the line, "I don't get no respect."
Hey, I don't get no respect.
Okay, that's big. Seth's dad gave that line to Rodney.
That's awesome.
And before we went to the movie, we had dinner somewhere over in Los Feliz, where the cool people live.
Yeah.
And a guy just grabbed my arm while I was in the middle of eating, and he goes, "Did Jay Leno ever take you out for that sausage sandwich?" Because on the Tonight Show, I made a joke about Jody Maroney. It's some kind of sausage company up at Universal at the time. And Jay Leno said on the TV show, "Did you ever eat Jody Maroney?" You know how he talks. And I called it gout on a stick. And it was a great joke.
Yeah.
It was gout on a stick. And Jay Leno, it's live, his face kind of goes like, bad mouthing somebody.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter who they were. It didn't sound good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you probably shouldn't get bad mouth gout on his stick.
exactly.
And I wonder, and they are no longer in business.
But this guy grabbed me and just said, because he said, "I'll take you out and prove," to smooth it really over. He said something about, "I'll take you there and I'll prove to you it's good stuff." Something like, like I'll even take you. So this guy grabbed me a year later in a restaurant and just said, "Did Jay Leno ever take you out for the sausage sandwich?"
Oh, it's funny.
So it's a funny little.
Hey, let me ask you something about the 90s. Because, starting our comedy in the 90s, I started in the 90s, very, very beginning of the 90s. And you started like mid-90s or
no?
Early
I started.
90s?
I took a comedy class in the spring of '92, and then by July is the first class. And I kind of counted. I think I counted every time I got up in the class as a set, and then like set number 8 was the first real performance. Was the graduation of the class. and that was July of 92. So I started in July of 92 in New York City.
Dude, July of 92, I was getting ready to, this is a true story. I'd already been doing comedy for a couple of years, making money as a comedian. And I was living in the Bay Area, but then at that point I had car problems, and I was like, man, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back home to Fresno? Am I going to continue with the Bay Area? And it literally was my birthday in June, and I was at a Denny's getting that free meal at Denny's that you get.
Okay.
And I was making a column, like reasons to stay, reasons to go, reasons to stay, reasons to go. And lo and behold, I got picked up on a college tour, and it started in August of 92. And we'd fly to Grand Rapids, Michigan, be in a van with two other comics. And
How many months?
It was at the time it was great.
How many months?
You're like a rock and roll star, or not star. You're like a rock and roll band. You'd be gone 3 months at a time.
And how many stints did you do?
Oh, you would go from that first one was from August all the way up to Thanksgiving.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was great though. Especially when you're dead broke and you're like, now I got a steady paycheck and I'm performing everywhere.
You're in hotels.
Yes.
And you're staying with Sarge.
He was
and he wears a thong bikini.
Sarge was the tour manager, like not the first round. He came like a year later. Yeah. He's a big famous comedian on the East Coast, Sarge. But at that time it was doing those tours, like it was really fun at first because I'd never, I'd been to like 17 states, but to start going to new states that I'd never been to was amazing, and feeling the.
How often did you not get laughs? And did it sneak up on you?
No, it
or
was.
You were getting good by you had to get good.
I was good by then. I definitely was good by then because I'd already started in high school. But I remember like there was another comedian who was less experienced, and then there was like a juggler, and so I was like the quote real comedian.
Okay,
and at least that first semester, and. I remember like mostly doing well, but the part that was weird is you'd have to like set up the stage. Like we'd go to the college campus and then we'd have PVC pipes and we're piping them together and then putting the vinyl backdrop. I didn't like any of that.
Ooh.
That was like, you feel
that's
like
part of the shtick?
Yeah, that wasn't the funny part. That was the pre-show.
That's part of like
part of the gig.
Yeah. I got offered one or two of those. I'm out, dude.
And the first hour was stand up, and the second hour was called Make Me Laugh, and we draw names out of a hat, and the students would have to go up there, and we'd have to try to make them laugh, wearing costumes and wigs, and you've got 1 minute to make them laugh. John DiResta says he can make you laugh. John DiResta. The crowd claps, and some college kids going like this, just looking at you, stone like this. Trying to win $30 in a T-shirt. Yeah. And it was...
And you're dancing around like a monkey, making sounds?
Yep. Exactly. You're trying to do the whole thing, getting really, doing the slow burn where you look this way, then you do the turn, like anything to get them. If they show their teeth, they were out. And then it was tough. But you know what? We'd stay at hotels, motels, Holiday Inn.
If say
your
what?
girl starts acting up, then you ask her friend.
Say what?
Wow. My name is John DiResta, Twisted Sister. When you address me, call me Mister. No, but it was great though at the time, like at that time of my life, because you're single, you're on,
and you have to be funny.
And you have to be
to
funny.
different people.
Yeah.
It's not the same comedy club every night with local jokes.
I remember like going to like exactly like you would go to like, for me it was another side of the world, like Pennsylvania. I remember like the humidity, boom. The first night was York, Pennsylvania, and sometimes you'd stay like at a little mom and pop motel, which is a little like a throwback, like so you got this is 92, so some of those hotels that we stayed in were probably built in the 50s.
Right, it's almost it's a cabin
basically
that smells damp.
Yep. And then you'd go to like Baltimore and you'd be at a nice hotel, or you go to Maine, Colby, Maine, or you'd go to like just strange parts of the country. And a lot of times the kids, they'd have food backstage, and it'd be like pizza and a fruit bowl. And after about 19 dates in a row where you're getting pizza, you're like, I don't ever want to see pizza again. I'm just tired of pizza. We go,
wow.
And they'd start bringing you like submarine sandwiches, or afterwards the students would take you out. But that was like that whole college tour, and sometimes the drives were insane. Like you'd do a show, but then the next night you got to be in Alabama, so we drive 8 hours. And my whole goal was to do this tour was to save money so I could afford my like a real car. So my cars. So I told myself I want a Honda or a Toyota, and nothing that's going to break down. No more Yugos, no more used Dodge Swingers I buy off the side of the road. I want a real working Honda, and I did it. But I'm telling you, I was determined. I had this little book of budgeting, and I literally would write down like I only spent $2 today.
Oh, wow.
I remember.
What did you make on that a week? Like $400 or $500 a week at the time?
At the time, I think we made like $700 a week.
Yeah, that's good money. That's big money.
Yeah, back then, like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like $2 or $3 grand now.
You know, and it was like it was something you could just, it was direct deposit right in the account. So
Wow.
you're not really, and like I said, you get the meal at the school, so that was good. And then I remember buying a jar of peanut butter, and then
You use that to beat your meat?
no, you'd be like have like an apple.
Don't
and,
worry.
be hacky. But yeah, I'd be like, if I can just survive off this peanut butter and apple, then I'll eat at the. I mean, it's crazy, right? When you think about living like that, and then I remember one night we were somewhere where it was really cold, and I didn't want to pay the $80 to stay in the hotel. Because I knew we were only going to be in there for we're going to park from midnight and then we're going to drive again at 5 a.m.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, well.
You slept in the bus?
I was like, I'll sleep in the van, the Ford Econoline travel
Yeah,
van.
nice
or
big
whatever.
seat.
So we turned the heat on. The other two comedians, they were like, screw this, man. Because they were like in their 30s.
Right.
They were older, And they got their own hotel room. And I remember just waking up freezing in the freaking van, like at 5 a.m., like just, because the heat only lasted for how long? Is it
Yeah,
last?
sure.
As soon as you turn the engine off, you got maybe, a half hour?
I used to sleep in a van every night of my life in the homeless outreach van.
Oh, dude, it was.
Every night. The sandwich box was the pillow.
Oh,
That was the pillow.
wow. But the motor was off, though. We're talking motor was off. It was bad, dude. But it was fun. I remember going to like Connecticut and going to New York. We got to go to New York. And at that time, shout out to Sarge, the tour manager. He gave us the keys to his apartment, and then he stayed with his girl at the time. And
wow.
So, dude, it was great to have like this giant, huge apartment in New York to stay in, and like I remember the pipes on the walls would like heat up and make that noise, and there was my impression of New York was super fun and exciting. Like the minute you'd open the door, boom, there's just like action, people walking around. There was like stores you could buy like all kinds of cool like records, and records were popular back then. I remember going to Central Park and seeing like King Missile, like this band that was performing, and like you're seeing like it was just amazing. To me, it was amazing. It was like everywhere you looked, like record stores, food, fun, people, like action, street performers, comedy clubs, Third and McDougal, like just. The Cellar, the whole thing was just exciting,
nice. That's where as I came up as a comedian, that was the runaround.
Yeah.
Outdoor shows, hotels, buses, and in band shells. The last time I performed with Artie Lang and Jimmy Palumbo was an outside band shell.
Wow.
Like in November of 92 or 93, and the sun was going down. And it was cold and it was windy.
Wow.
And the 2 or 3 comedians before me, since we were all new, Artie Lang and Jimmy Palumbo were in a improv group called Midnight Madness, and they closed the show. But the 2 or 3 comedians that went up, they had to go, is anybody Jewish? And they had to get the clap, and then they did the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is anyone Catholic? Yay. Well, I'm Catholic too, and this is what I do about the church.
Yeah.
Anybody cheap? Anyone have cheap parents?
Yeah.
So I came, and so many of them did it in a row. And again, I guess it's a support crutch.
Yeah.
And my opening joke was, I kind of halfway threw up my hand and I said, because they would say, clap if you're Catholic. That was it. Clap if you're Jewish. Clap if you're cheap. My opening joke was, clap if you're freezing your balls off and you wish you never came to this thing. And it got a huge laugh, like, all right, this guy's not playing.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
funny.
Yeah, this guy's not playing.
That's funny. Yeah. Clap if you're this, clap if you're that. Yeah, it's funny. I've been trying. It's funny. Like, I try not to throw out
Richmond Hill, Queens, outdoors. But all the same like gigs that you ran around from city to city that had more clout, more money, more food. I was doing the same thing in, like I said, in a back of an alleyway at a firehouse.
Yeah.
All the beer you can drink. You know what I mean? They're going to pass the hat.
How has comedy changed?
Hold on.
Okay.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Not just prom shows, which are horrific.
Oh, those are tough.
4 a.m. with 300 kids that drank for the first time, and they don't get the jokes. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're the worst. I did worse than that. I got booked to do a prom show on a boat that was supposed to leave from the South Street Seaport like at 1 a.m. in a really remote part of Manhattan. and me, and I met another comedian there, African-American dude, and I'm pretty sure this is not derogatory. His name was Ghetto. So me and Ghetto just stood on this dock for like an hour, and there was no kids, no limo, no boat. And then we just, like at 2 a.m, we both just tapped out, like after an hour and a half of
like,
realizing.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked about the next, somebody sent in 3 questions, and that was one of them. They said, "Hey, we'd be interested to know how has comedy changed for you guys personally from
I
the
don't know.
90s?"
I almost don't know how to answer that, other than I guess there's a little bit more wokeness, but you see it more than me, because I kind of do my run around in a different. You see more wokeness. But tonight, watch this. The first 2 comedians were both, how you say, AC/DC.
Oh yeah,
They do both.
right.
Right? They like both. The first two comedians. This is before I went on. The next comedian, I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman, and the name was generic. And about 4 jokes in, czar, that's the new term,
Yeah.
pronoun, czar said, "I know what you guys are thinking. You don't know if I'm a man or a woman." And it was funny. So
Right.
czar does that on purpose.
Oh.
And czar leaves the stage, has you wondering if czar is a man or a woman.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm doing
Yeah.
there? And then sitting next to me was a comedian waiting to go up that I know last week said I'm transgender fully.
So you're seeing a lot more of that on the scene than you did in the 90s.
But the one that was going to go up that didn't go up, that got the
Yeah.
the whole bit,
Yeah.
never said I went from A to B or B to A. And the name was generic. So
What's a generic name?
you know, like
You don't want to say the real name.
no, I don't even remember, like thumbnail.
Yeah.
You can't tell if it was a man or a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call me thumbnail.
My name is Joey.
Yeah, right.
Joey could be like.
Yeah. It was
okay.
one of those. But
Yeah.
watch this. I'm saying
Shannon.
the act was so unspecific. If you're
Yeah.
going to get up there and say I was A and now I'm B,
Yeah.
you got to start that way. You know what I mean? And then the jokes about the operation, and I'm telling you, I wasn't the only one. I was sitting there going, I would like this a lot more if I knew it was a A
Yeah.
to a B.
Yeah. You should have helped. You
Or
should
a
be like,
B
hey,
to
I'm
an A.
You'd be like, I'm a comedy coach. I could,
No. A,
Yeah.
when they come off, it's none of my business. I've
Yeah.
tried it, and they're going to say, mind your own business.
Right,
they don't
right.
even see it. If they see it, they would have fixed it.
Unsolicited advice.
Yeah, and my New York accent. Oh, he's a racist.
Right. Hey, let me
How do you
tell
not know?
something. Yeah,
How do you not know I went from
Right.
this to that?
Yeah.
Do you see this?
Dude, let me tell you something. I saw
But watch, the one thing I got was czar,
Yeah.
thumbnail, who hadn't gone up yet, but would have been number 4 in the spectrum,
Right. Yeah.
right? Did say czar got a BBL, a Brazilian butt lift. So I assumed that usually a man going to
Trying to
a
look like-
woman
yeah.
would get the BBL.
Here's what I saw tonight.
Your turn.
Beverly Hills. Like, this isn't like what you're doing, like that. What'd you do? Like, it was a bowling alley, right?
Tonight I did a bowling alley. However, it's in a back room. It's legit as all get out. It's like a real comedy club.
I love those.
Oh, this one is good. It takes great pictures, great microphone, and the audience is supportive if you want to try new jokes.
So this is like in Beverly Hills, like, people, like really pretty people. They're all in the audience. I mean,
one of those?
I don't know if they have money or they're just pretending to have money, or maybe they're hooking up with people.
Either
with
way,
money.
it's a different audience than you used to,
Yeah.
especially me.
Yeah, then the bowling alley audience. And then you have like some tourists from the UK that were over here.
Oh,
But at the
Jesus
bar,
Christ.
there were 2 dudes. One was very in shape, very manicured beard. And I believe he's in a relationship with another guy. But get this, I'd never seen this before.
Uh-oh.
The other guy,
I don't know if I want to hear it.
I'd never seen this.
Oh, here we go.
He had on a full leather mask
Oh, Judas Priest.
with like the
Spikes?
Batman ears.
Okay.
And like the mouth, like was all-
Protruded in dog-like fashion.
Yeah, it was all leather. It was a whole leather thing, like a leather mask, full-on head hood leather thing. And just sitting at the bar watching comedy. I will say he clapped. So he clapped. He liked my comedy, so I was cool with it. But it's it's a little strange. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
that's-
South Park, like Mr. Slave or something. So
No,
that was-
I've never seen that.
and I'd never seen that in the 90s. You know, and that was something you'd never see at a show.
you know,
I probably would have been more wild in the night. If I would have saw someone dressed like that, I would probably have ranked on him. And this time I just ignored him. I said,
yeah,
"Listen,
right. There you go. In the 90s, we were, hey, you in the mask.
Yeah, what the?
Yeah.
You know, yeah,
Are you
yeah.
Freddy Krueger's brother?
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I mean, hey,
Are you Jerry Krueger?
you could have said a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? But like tonight, I was just like, let's just do my set. Yeah, let me just bounce. But yeah, so the '90s, I think you're seeing a little bit more. You know, we got to kind of watch what we say a little bit, I guess. In a little bit.
A little bit.
And then what else is good about it? I think here's what's good about I not that that's not good, but because it's always challenging, right? The challenges that come up, like things that were appropriate then, you know, wouldn't be appropriate now,
Right.
And so you have to challenge yourself. Oh, let me try to be the funniest I can be with the new rules that are out there. And I love the tech. I love being able to, like, you know, do a show, and then my second show is come to John DiResta's place and let's film something, record it, get it out there, and reach even more people. You know, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would assume
You know?
The difference from 30 years ago was on an overall level that people can get famous much quicker because of the internet. You know, and to me, I tape record every set. So to me, the technology, I don't really post them. I should. But just the fact that I could record it onto my phone and I'm not running around buying film for a video camera and it's a
Right.
heavy, clunky thing. And
Yeah.
I remember I brought a video camera into the Brea Improv. It was like a Sunday night, and Jay Moore had the 7:30 show, and I had like the 9:30.
Yeah.
And I brought it, and I had this camera was so big and kind of sleek looking that Jay Moore just started busting out laughing. He goes, "Only John DiResta would bring a thermos to a comedy club."
Channel 47 News.
He thought I was carrying a thermos.
Oh, that's
like
hilarious.
that's what a seasoned veteran. I like bring my own warm
Oh,
liquid.
it's funny.
But it was a video camera. But now the phone makes it easier.
Yeah, the phone makes it easier. You know, we did a show. John. By the way, John DiResta and I and Mike Black, we were performing at Flappers. Do you know the date? October.
I think it's 8th. It's the Saturday.
Saturday, October 8th. It's a daytime show. Doors open at I think like 3:30 or 4, and the show starts at 4:30. It's going to be cool. And guess what? My son's going to be on the show. My son Austin, a.k.a. AusTheBassBoss.
Nice.
He'll be doing 10 minutes of music and his medleys. And
Is your wife going to be on it too?
my wife will be. It's going to be a family show. No, I'm just, no, well,
Do you know
not-
who said that to me once?
who said that to you?
I was in a basement with Robert De Niro. I was sitting in a chair, and he was sitting in a chair in a salon in New York City. Just him and I.
Yeah.
And Ed Burns yells down. Ed Burns, the actor. I don't want to drop names. Michael Caine told me it was rude. Ed Burns yells down the stair. I can't see it, but he yells down the stairway. Hey, John, your brother Jimmy's here. Can I send him down? And before I answered, Robert De Niro looks up from his newspaper and goes, "Am I going to have to meet every fucking relative you ever had?" Because he had already met my mom and my
Oh,
dad.
it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why we brought that up, but that's a funny story.
He's probably like, I get this all the time, you know.
No, he was very nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'll be that the Gen X talk show, and the show's at 4:30. Flappers, get your tickets. Link is in my bio. Darren Carter. Go to my bio, you will get it, or go to flappers.com, get the tickets. And it's
I know why I brought that
It's a
up.
small venue, so get your ticket because not everyone's going to be
I
able to
brought
fit.
that up because
Yeah.
I asked if your wife was going to be on the show.
So my son?
But it was the rhythm of,
Yeah.
are you going to introduce me to your whole family?
Yeah, it's going to be Mike Black, John DiResta, Darren Carter, and Gen X Talks, and a special guest, AusTheBassBoss.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been working out, on the stand-ups.
Yeah, man.
I've been doing 2-3 sets a week. Oh, I'm back at the Ha.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude. I know I had some good news for you.
Oh, that's good.
Out of nowhere. Hey, John, it's Terry, Saturday night at 8.
Oh,
Do you want it?
beautiful. Dude, that's great.
Yeah?
That's great. These things are starting to shift and move. And I have I got a second spot at the Comedy Store on a Saturday night main room. I didn't used to get those.
Wow.
I did not used to get main room Comedy Store spots. I mean, I got a long time ago, 3 years ago, whatever that. But this is like pretty frequently, twice within like a 3-week period. Dude,
Nice.
fist bump. I think things are looking up, man.
Yeah, dude.
This is good.
I was a regular at the Comedy Store
Yeah.
last century.
No way. The 90s?
Last century.
Dude.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a whole new. By the way, we did a gig last week. It was really good, right? A lot of Latinos in the audience.
So much fun.
Like 99% Mexican Americans. It was awesome.
I videotaped you for, you don't know it, for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And I sent it to my friend Terry Downing. He's a mailman and a wannabe comedian. He has living room balls.
Yeah.
Really bad. So he's a buff. You know what a buff is?
Comedy buff. He loves comedy.
He knows everything about it except he's got living room balls.
Yeah.
Funny in the living room. And I woke up the next day. I just sent that to him as a compliment to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I didn't put anything, and he called me the next morning and said, "Dude, Darren Carter has got it down."
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, he said something about the pauses. Something where you just kind of look around and figure out what's next without having to go, where did I lose you?
I got to rush. My next joke. I got to keep running. Yeah, because
Where did I lose you?
Thank you, because when I first started, I was just like, they used to say I was too fast. Like the headliners, they'd be like, "You're too fast." And I thought my dumbass thought they thought I was like Robin Williams, like, "Oh, I'm so fast. I talk from one thing to the next thing." No, they meant like
the cadence.
My cadence.
And letting it in. You know what they call it in ice skating or hockey? You got to feel the ice.
Yeah.
You're feeling the ice now.
Yeah. You let them laugh, because you know what? I just heard this recently.
Not just let them laugh, let it all sink in.
Yeah.
It's and guess what? In that pause, you get to be Joe Namath and decide what's next.
Yeah.
You don't have to run to bit A to bit B. Your mind goes, "Oh, they might like this or they might like that."
I just saw a video today. It was really good. Shout out to Lou Deck, Comedy Store regular from like the 70s and 80s. He was Mitzi Shore's right-hand man back in the day. And I saw him do like a little tutorial at the Comedy Chateau.
Right.
At that festival or whatever. And he was telling the audience members, the students, the comedians, he said, when you chop the audience's laugh, you're teaching them not to laugh.
100%.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago.
I thought that was really good. I mean, I knew it, but to hear it verbalized like that. Like,
here's one of my coaches, Peter Wren. Shout out to Peter Wren. He lives in Virginia. When he first saw one of my tapes, and this is 99, this is last century.
Yeah.
When I had the sitcom.
I just heard a phone ring.
That's mine. Do you mind if I check it? It might be my daughter.
Go see if
I have two daughters.
Take your earbuds out.
Oh yeah.
We'll keep rolling. We'll keep talking. Yeah. Remember that they're being recorded, because we can probably hear everything in the background. And this is why we usually say turn your phone off, but that's okay. It could be important.
No, it could be important. I got it.
Yeah. Ask if we can put her on the air.
Yeah.
Because maybe she doesn't know. All right. Hold on.
I got to adjust my.
Okay.
Hey, you're on the air with a podcast. Is that okay?
Yeah, with Darren.
Yeah.
Put her on speaker and put the mic right up to the bottom of the phone. Hello, how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. How was the show at the Laugh Factory?
The show was really good. It was really funny. The first show was Dalia and...
Chris D'Elia
and Ruben Paul. He was great. And... there was someone I wanted to ask you guys about, if you guys knew him, because he was on the second show and he was wildly funny.
Go ahead.
Who was it?
Hold on. His name...
Dr. Dean?
His name is Eddie Pepitone.
Oh, yeah, Eddie Pepitone. He's great.
Yeah. He's funny, right?
Oh, my God. I was cracking up. I was laughing so hard. He is ridiculous.
Watch this in a weird way. Do you remember my Uncle Tony, my dad's brother?
Yes.
And his wife was Ann Kay. Do you remember Ann Kay?
Yes, she was very old.
Her last name was Pepitone.
Was she related to him?
No, I don't know, but her last name was Pepitone. She was related to the famous New York Met, a Yankee. There was a Yankee named Pepitone, Joe Pepitone.
Well, the show started an hour late because Ruben's show ran so long, and on the second show, everyone's set was cut short a little bit because they had to shorten the show, and so they lit Eddie at 9 minutes instead of 12 or whatever, and he screams into the mic, 9 minutes? I drove all the way from North Hollywood for 9 fucking minutes? That's fine. I wanted to go home anyway, and he ended his set.
Oh, nice.
It was great.
Nice. All right. And are you home yet?
I'm just about to be home.
Okay. Might not be safe to drive and talk. Text me when you get home.
Okay, you guys, you have a good podcast.
We
Okay.
will. Hey, talk to you soon.
How was the ride to LAX?
It was good. It was quick.
Okay, you got it. Love you.
All right, let's see you guys.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Okay, bye.
Nice. I had to turn that up extra loud. So
She
could
chopped
hear
my
you.
story. I was in the middle of a story. I can't remember it now. Can you?
No, but she just had a birthday. Hey, my son just had a birthday.
All right. My daughter was 32. She wins.
Turn that off. You're calling someone by accident.
I'm calling,
Calling
you.
me. What a dumbass. Look at
Two-
this guy.
what two
This guy's
assholes?
like- I know. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, yeah,
I'm calling you.
I know. Hey, can you turn that ringer off? Unless you really got to keep it on.
No, that's the one I have to, to be
Yeah.
concerned with every night.
Oh, I got you. Do you want to close that? I have a feeling you're going to call.
Do you want to
someone again by
sniff my
accident.
balls?
No, just make sure their phone is not calling people.
Do you want to sniff my boxes?
Hold on. Look at this. How do you close this thing? All right, let's close it. By the way, we only have a few minutes left of this podcast. So how has comedy changed in the 90s? So that was one of them. I feel like there's so we could do podcasts now. You don't have to rely on 5 gatekeepers or whatever.
Right. I don't have one. I don't have a podcast now, but there's always the opportunity for it, which is nice.
Right. What was some of the other questions? Can you think of any other changes that for you personally that comedy has changed?
I mean, for me, I just one of my comedy coaches, Steve Marshall. Shout out to Steve Marshall. About 10 or 12 or 15 years ago, said you just need to be more, a little bit looser. Like he said, he saw me do radio a few times, and he said, when you do the radio, you have so much fun and you ad lib. He said, and you're up there doing joke A, joke B, joke C, and the audience, if they don't buy joke C, you think something's wrong,
Right.
Because you're not feeling the ice.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was when the big Mexican audience. It was so awesome. It was cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, it was fun. They gave us food afterwards.
Yeah,
How
that
great
was a
the
lot of
food?
fun.
The whole thing was just fun.
Yep. There was
Camarillo.
there might have been a point of the story I was telling, but maybe we'll catch it on the next one. We're doing this again. When's the next one? 4 hours from now?
Yeah, we'll do another one 4 hours from now. Next time we'll turn the phones off.
Do you want to live here?
I know. Hey, we'll hear your daughter telling us how great the comedians were while we were here.
Yeah.
Yeah, performing for dudes in leather masks.
Yeah, have a nice class. No, I'm just trying to be more of my. Oh, and Steve also 10 or 15 years ago said, you're not the fat house husband that they're selling you on TV. You are a legitimate heavy metal fan, and you listen to heavy metal and you watch UFC. You know what I mean? You're not the honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
That's what the sitcom turned me into in a few of these movies too. I was the fat guy. Hey,
It's so funny. You lost weight and then used to audition a lot with Billy Gardell, both two big guys. And
Yeah,
you guys
he
have
really lost a lot.
Both have lost weight.
yeah.
You guys both were like, screw this. That's good, though. I like to see when dudes do that. Mark Schiff lost 55 pounds or something. The guy that opens for Seinfeld.
Nice.
There's some other comedians I've seen, they lose the weight. That's really good to do that,
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. He said just make the act more heavy metal and a little bit more loose. Loose. Let it happen.
Yeah.
And let it unfurl as compared to I'm going to ram these jokes down your throat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whether you like it or not.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It was cool. I did a show this weekend with Chuck Liddell was in the front row.
How was that?
UFC. Great. He was a celebrity to do like autographs and, it was
Was he laughing?
He was laughing. He started following me on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
It was not. You can too. Official Darren Carter, Darren. The link is in YouTube. Official Darren Carter, and I follow John DiResta on Instagram, and you can too. Follow John DiResta on Instagram
Thank you at John DiResta, JohnDiresta. Not the plumber. There's a John DiResta plumber in Long Island. Once a year, I get a text that says, "I see you gave up on Hollywood." Or John DiResta, the acting teacher at Columbia University, or John DiResta, who lives on Staten Island, my dad's second cousin. I'm the other John DiResta.
Dude, there's a Darren Carter that's like a wanted
I seen that.
gang member. It's got millions of views on YouTube, but it's helped me. It's helped me because people go to YouTube and they look up Darren Carter and they stumble on my stuff, and I've gotten more subscribers. And also, like, people writing like, "Cops looking for you, man. The popo's after you." And
5-0.
Yeah, the 5-0, and they're like,
What's up?
Because in the thing he goes, Darren Carter putting your gun sideways, and so I'll leave comments like, no,
Don't clown me.
I put my microphone sideways. you know?
Don't clown me, Darren Carter.
So Chuck Liddell, it's interesting when you have like a celebrity in the front row,
Right.
Like when I was
Because people are looking at him to see if he laughs.
I guess, or I used to be in my own head, like, oh, I wonder if Henry Winkler's laughing at me right now.
I've done that.
This time I didn't really, I would see him, you can't help it, but I didn't care though, because there's a whole bunch of other people, and luckily I actually had like a Chuck Liddell story. So
wow.
So I had a thing, and I talked about boxing and about how I got into boxing 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And
The only thing I could box is oranges.
Is oranges.
Don't worry, be hacky. I wrote that joke.
A lot of people wrote that
I
joke.
box
John.
oranges.
But they, so I was going to tell you, I remember when I first got into the boxing gym, like I talked to the other boxers and they'd be like, yeah, I started when I was 7, or I started boxing when I was 10. And I was like, yeah, I started boxing when I was 46. And even that gets a laugh because it's hilarious. Like, who starts boxing at 46,
Right.
And I'm like, that ring is so high. Can we put in like a ramp or something? Or maybe an
there you go.
escalator? But whatever. So I started talking about a little bit about boxing. And this is true. I told a real story about how I would look at instructional videos, and Chuck Liddell has these instructional videos on how to throw a punch. And his advice, he said, ball your fist up and think of your fist as a rock, and your arm is like as a whip, almost like a rock at the end of a rope. So it's like this rock that's like boom, boom at the end of this.
It's like a whip.
Yeah, like a rock at the end of this rope.
Oh, whoa.
Bam. And I kind of demonstrated that a little bit, and
Yeah, that's almost like when you get good as a stand-up, you could sling your punchline.
Yeah.
Make your punchline
Exactly.
a sock with a rope in it.
Right. However, I think you got to be athletic like Chuck Liddell for that stuff to work, because if your normal person just throws their hand like that, it ain't going to be any good, But the way he described it, it was really cool to see him do that, and it was neat to see a Chuck Liddell. And plus, I gave him an asshole sticker at the end of the night. I said, "This is not saying you're I'm saying as a gift. Give it to because you probably run into a lot of."
When I got into UFC, I'm a huge fan of him. He's one of the reasons that I'm a UFC follower.
The Iceman.
He's great.
Yeah, he was
beats
cool.
Watch this. Ready for this?
Yeah.
He beats people up. That's it.
It's weird, right? Like
he wins.
I don't know if both comedians, but one of the comedians and different comedians I've told on the phone that he was there, they all try to crack a joke, the easiest, hackiest thing, like, oh, I would kick his ass or whatever. And I'm like, he must get that 1,000,000 times a day, Hey, Chuck, you think I could take you in a fight? Hey, Chuck,
Yeah.
It's like, that's their thing. That's what they're known for. So,
Yeah, those guys don't play around. I like UFC because someone has to win. It's the most unfake thing there is.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's in a world of crappy news every day, and the end is coming, and bad reality shows where people are locked in a house or they wear a mask and they sing and you have to guess who it is. All that.
Yeah.
It's a monstrous pile
Yeah.
of fake horse shit that's 50,000 feet high, and then UFC, at least it's justice. Someone has to win.
Yep.
Like stand-up comedy, Chris Rock said, is justice. You either get laughs or you don't. There's no faking it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then live shows for sure. Yeah. On TV there's laugh tracks and there's all that crap, but as far as live shows, you're either getting laughs or you're not.
Yeah.
I heard an interview, and I wish I remembered who it was, but this guy was talking about how he was drinking late night with a champion, a boxing champ, and the guy had retired already, but he was still a badass.
Right.
But they're like in their 50s or whatever.
Right.
And he goes, I had one too many shots, and I had this look on my face. I was
Oh,
thinking,
no.
like, I bet I could knock him
No.
out, or I bet. And then he said that the boxer already he'd sensed that 1,000,000 times,
Wow.
and he just put his hand and he goes, no.
Really?
Yeah, and the guy was like, he kind of snapped out of it.
Wow.
He said, don't even try, or something like that. He had that look like,
Well, watch it. I could top it. I tend to top things. I did a one-nighter in Catskill, New York. Not the Catskills. It's a city called Catskill, New York. And coincidentally, my brother Jimmy lives one town over now. And Catskill, New York is where Billy Batts is from, the Valley comedian, the tall guy. And I did a gig, and that's where Mike Tyson was trained by the old-time coach. And the guy in between, I think it was Mickey Rooney, something Rooney. And sure enough, I did the one-nighter, got some laughs. and got drunk in the bar. And who did I get drunk with? That guy. How Tyson left him. Tyson got a new team. I was the guy, right? And this guy's crying on my shoulder. If he's crying on my shoulder, he's crying on everybody's shoulder.
Yeah.
There's my one boxing story. Number 2, I'm at the Driscoll Hotel in Austin, Texas, doing a little movie called Miss Congeniality 1. It's epic.
I know a guy who was in Miss Congeniality too.
That would be me.
Oh,
I'm in both.
it's a late night.
And who did I see sitting at the dinner table in a restaurant was the guy who Mike Tyson bit his ear out.
Oh, Evander Holyfield.
And the sun was going down, and you could see the piece.
Wow.
You just see it missing like a half moon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude,
Hey, hold on, one more.
Yeah.
I probably told this story. If I did, don't stop me. I'm sleeping during the day.
Oh, that old story? Anyways, hey, folks.
My wife, hey, there's a guy on the phone wants to book you for tonight, and it's like 3 p.m. And hey, John, it's Tony Camacho. I got a gig tonight. It's $150. You're in a boxing ring for 1,200 drunken New York City cops. I don't know if you heard this one. 1,200 in a boxing ring. And I said, and he just went like this. If you don't want it, I'll call Joe Badalamenti. He was the other cop that did comedy. I said, I'll do it. And I had to wind
Did you
up.
see how much time?
It was like 10 to 12 minutes, just enough
Was
to.
the money good?
It was 150. At the time,
Yeah.
I mean, we do gigs for 150 now. This is 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a broke New York City cop, $150 is a lot of money.
For 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad.
You could judge it if you want.
I'm trying to think.
You can demean it,
It could
kill
be
my
tough,
whole
but
story.
it could be tough, though. Like 1,200 drunken cops, though.
But it's the story. It's like I did the Hells Angels Clubhouse. You know what I got paid for the Hells Angels Clubhouse?
$30 in Cologne.
20.
20? Damn.
30 years later.
Wow.
So 150 to 30 or 20.
Yeah.
But anyway, the
Please
guy
welcome. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, the ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, and
Wow.
people were allowed to smoke cigars and drink.
Yeah.
So imagine you're in this club. It's completely. It's called a smoker.
Yeah.
You can't even see. You can't even see people. There's so much smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, we have a comedian, and he didn't get the word fully out. Comedian before 1,200 booze started.
They want to see blood.
Booze.
They want to see blood. They want to see violence.
Booze.
They want to see the sweet science.
The guy hands me the microphone. They lift the rope.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because you didn't go over the top rope.
No. It's funny you ask. No one's ever asked me that. They lifted the rope.
Yeah, I've been in the boxing ring before.
And I as I'm flipping over my leg in between and ducking down, he hands me a mic and goes, "Good fucking luck, buddy. Wow. You're gonna need it." That's what he said in my ear. You're gonna need it. And so now they're booing. I'm waving. I'm all alone, and there's 400 each way, so you don't even know where to look.
Yeah.
If you're in the round.
Yeah.
And I said, "Give me a break. I'm one of you. I'm a cop." And someone yelled out, "What precinct?" And I said, "Well, I'm transit." And the boo got twice as loud. It was hysterical, dude.
Wow.
It was hysterical that I was transit. And somehow, some way, I chipped away and chipped away and chipped away. And, dude, I left to a huge applause. I stepped.
great.
The guy that I stepped off the ropes, I walked down the stairs, and a guy came running at me and goes, "Dude, that was fantastic. When are you playing again?" And you know what my mind said? He's messing with me. Like I didn't even.
Yeah.
And guess who walked by? I don't want to drop names. As I'm doing my shtick, who walks right by, looks at me, I say hello to him, and everyone claps.
Mayor Giuliani.
Jerry Cooney.
Wow.
Your turn.
Wow.
And I wanted to watch this. I wanted to say, "Hey, Jerry Cooney, it's nice to see you in men's clothing again." And you know why I didn't?
Why?
14th and 8th was the tranny spot in New York City. If you wanted to go get a heechee or a chick with a dick and pay for it, and guess who was seen at that corner numerous times?
I mean,
Jerry Cooney.
supposedly, allegedly.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I didn't want to embarrass him if that was true.
Right.
And dude, he
Yeah.
could break my jaw afterwards. Yeah, I'm
Right.
not, what am I?
Right.
What am I, immune?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I embarrassed him like that in front of 1,200 people?
Right.
Because there might, if there was any truth to the rumor, now I look like a skunk.
Yeah.
Now I'm stuttering John.
Yeah.
Anyway, Those are my 3 boxing stories. Your turn.
Dude, that was great. Hey, listen, I wanted to... we're running out of battery life on this camera.
You know about Tupac, right?
Yes,
I worked
do.
with Tupac.
Heard it. Hey, guys, do us a huge favor, and it really helps the podcast. It really helps the algorithm out. Go to Apple, please, on Apple. 5 stars and a review, and we will be reading the reviews live on the next episode. So if you want to plug your business or plug your social media, just throw it in the review somewhere. Be like, hey, love the show, blah, 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 and my name is, and then you could plug your business or your social media, and we will do that. And we will see you at Flappers if you're in the Burbank, California area, October 8th, Saturday, 4:30 in the afternoon. You will see a great comedy show, and on behalf of Darren Carter and John DiResta, we want to say thank you. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
No, it wasn't a good one. On 3.
On behalf of John DiResta and myself, we want to say
thank you.
Hold on. Take 3. On behalf of John DiResta and myself, we want to say thank you. Thank you.
Oh, hey, shout out to Adrian Vita. She's a big fan.
Absolutely.
She's a big fan of
I
the
want to see
show.
that. Thank you. And I want to see that footage that you sent. I want to see. Did you erase it or do you still have it?
I probably have it. Uh-oh.
Dude, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Uh-oh. You're commenting? You're like, this
No,
fucking
it's in there.
head.
I thought I wanted you to leave.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hang around like a spider.
I know.
Dude, I'm not gay. Not
All right,
yet.
guys. See you soon. Thank you so much.
Have a
Pocket Party
nice class.
Podcast. See you soon.
Have a nice
Later.
class.
Thank
you. Have a nice class.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.